Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. So I'm coming to you today with a thorough review on all four of the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palettes, the whole vault, if you will. I'll get through the logistics. I'll do some kind of general things on all that apply to all four of them, and then I'll talk about each palette specifically and just like what I like, dislike, situation like that. So these palettes retail for $15 a piece on the Ulta's website and the Morphe website. The Morphe website does have a deal where if you get all four of them, it's like $49, which is an excellent deal. I didn't wait for that. I didn't want to wait for it to be delivered. I went straight to my Ulta, which they released this month. I went straight to my Ulta. They had them in store on release day, and I picked up all four of them. But with Ulta, of course, you have coupons and points, and $3.50 off coupon at Ulta now works on Morphe again if you didn't know. So you can get these for free if you want at Ulta if you have enough points. That type of situation. So what this is, the reason why I said vault is because on Morphe's website, again, the vault, all four together, they kind of package them together for you if you want to purchase all four. At Ulta, unfortunately, you do have to buy them all individually. There's no deal on all four. But again, Ulta has its own outside deals and things like that. So Jaclyn Hill already has had two palettes with Morphe. One is discontinued, but one, her Jaclyn Hill palette that's kind of in this same type of packaging, is still available. It's a permanent palette. I do not own that palette because I don't know. I don't know why I don't own it. I'm gonna be completely, that's the only reason. I just don't know why. Clearly something didn't speak to me or what have you. But these did speak to me because she released these palettes in a series of four. So it's like a set of four different color schemed palettes that all have different names. So just really quickly, I'll show them to you and tell you the names, and again, we'll get into it. This is Bling Boss, which is a purple sort of berry themed palette. Then you have Dark Magic, which is your deep kind of smoky palette with very interesting matte shades in there. Then you have Armed and Gorgeous, which is a, I like to say, like army situation, orange and yellow and green. Warm, definitely a warm palette though. And then you have Ring the Alarm, which is the warmest palette, which is definitely peaches and oranges. That warm thing. I am wearing that one today on my eyes. So, excuse me. Just to address the elephant in the room when it comes to these palettes, I did not repurchase these. I know Jaclyn Hill, they did a first release, and there was a lot of complaints and a lot of different things from YouTubers and people that they sent PR packages to, saying that the quality sucked, blah, 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 all these type of things. Apparently, they, you know, stopped the release. They delayed the release, repressed, reformulated the shadows, repressed them, you know, sent out new batches. Based on that information, I am under the assumption that I have the new ones. I know there was been like drama back and forth. Did they really do that? Did they really throw out? I am not here to share any of that drama. I am not here because I don't know. I'm not here to do any of that. I am here to just review these palettes. I, again, purchased them on the second release day. Because the first release day, I think it was like when people were in Vegas or something. I don't know. But it wasn't open to everyone. They kind of cut it off before they were meant to release for everyone. So anyway, I picked these up and I'm going to review them like I review any other eyeshadow palette. Like I said, I don't have any conspiracies to share with you. I'm just reviewing them. Alright, so I said the logistics, they retail $15. Each palette again is probably about bigger than $1, maybe like 1.5 times the size of a US dollar. And each palette has 10 shades in it. Each pan is the size of a 26mm eyeshadow, a standard eyeshadow. So your MAC, your Makeup Geek, your Anastasia Beverly, just a standard 26mm pan. They're not cutting on size there. So each eyeshadow is that. Each palette does have a mirror, which I know is a plus to a lot of people. And each palette has the shade names listed in the palette. There was a plastic protective sheet, but the names aren't on the sheet. Like they're on the palette, which I really appreciate. I have swatches up on my channel of all four of these palettes. I actually did a live on it, live swatches on my hand with a brush. With a brush and with my finger and with them wet and dry. So some shades wet and dry. So that's something if you want to check out, it is on my channel right now as we speak. I did that the day of the release in case people wanted to go out and get them. So that all for that. Okay, so getting into just the overall palettes as a whole, I love the idea of this collaboration with four different palettes. You know, you have, granted, good for her to do the big one with Morphe, which was great, but you know, these are a little bit smaller, more compact, and you can have, she has all these different color schemes that might not, like if you put all these shades, 40 shades into a big palette, it might be overwhelming for a lot of people. With all those different colors, it might be overwhelming for those that either don't just know how to, you know, deal with all those shades. It can be overwhelming, or people who just know they like a certain set of colors and don't need all that extra fluff in a palette. So I really can appreciate this idea of these 4 small collaborative palettes. Like that's, I love that idea. I really appreciate it. I really respect it. $15 is a great price point, especially with Morphe, and you can do like affiliate codes and like discount codes, get like 10% off and things. And then Ulta, having these at Ulta, you could, if you have enough points, you can get them for free. Like, all, you know, because in like the discount coupons, it doesn't count as prestige, so you can use your coupons. Like, well done. Well done. I really appreciate that. Okay, so an overall consensus with the palettes that I have noticed. With the swatches all swatch decently to me. And when I say decently, meaning they showed up, pigmentation showed up as I pretty much expected them to, with maybe a couple duds here and there, but as much as I expected them to. The metallic shiny shades showed up very well, wet and dry. I did this look with this entire look with the Ring the Alarm palette, and I use mattes and the metallic shimmery finish shades in the palette, and I used some wet and I used some dry, and it worked out completely fine. It wasn't a struggle or anything like that. I will say, in the general consensus, with the mattes, some of them need a little help to be built up, and that is actually not so much the deeper ones, but I've noticed a little bit with the lighter ones. Like, for example, the brown, the more mid-tone ones. For some reason, I know I am brown, so it's a little bit, it's not so much as like disappearing on my skin. I can just tell it takes a little bit longer to build up. For some reason, the deeper ones, I didn't get that. And then like the super light, where is it? The super light matte, like poof. I didn't get that either, but for some reason, like some of the mid-tone browns, it was like I gotta work a little harder to build those up. But once I had them on my eyes, everything blends well with everything and meshes well with everything. And I also think that's also due to the color choices in the palette being so related to each other that even if they didn't blend that well, the colors kind of complement each other enough where it looks really good. I used, so funny, I didn't switch these palettes up. So when I've been playing with these palettes, I would use one palette for a look. You know, I wouldn't like dip into, I don't know, but whatever. I do that a lot. Dip into different things, different shades from different palettes. I do. But this situation, testing these out, I did not. Where was I? Okay. I am talking about a minute, and that's all right. So yeah, the mattes. All the metallics, I'm be honest, they remind me of the formula of the Morphe pressed pigments. Like, you can look at this one, for example. You can look and see the imprints and everything of me in these palettes. The Morphe pressed pigments are one of my favorite formulas. These things here, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if Jaclyn Hill claimed to like formulate these shadows or just pick them from what Morphe had to offer. I don't know. I don't know what the process was. But I would not be surprised if those pigmented shades, like the metallics and different things, were just Morphe pressed pigments downsized a little bit into a palette, because I can press on them pretty well. I will say, now that I think about it, the Morphe pressed pigments, no, the Morphe pressed pigments are a little bit softer to the touch. A little bit softer to the touch. I wouldn't say they're the exact same texture, but they act the same, they blend the same, they behave the same way, both wet and dry. Like, they really behave in the Jaclyn Hill palettes, they really behave like a pressed pigment. So that's what made me think, well, maybe they use their Morphe pressed pigment formula, which I really like. I really do like their pressed pigment formula. Again, with the mattes though, there were, like I said, there were a couple, like the mid-tone browns to build up. But as far as pigmentation and blendability, I don't see very much difference in them than my other Morphe palettes, which I love my Morphe palettes, but I don't see any difference in the ones that do blend. Like, I don't see any of these working any better, like any next level exceptionally better than the Morphe palettes that I already own at home. I don't see that. Pretty consistent across the board. Like I said, even the other bigger Morphe palettes had some hit and misses, but pretty consistent in that way. As far as pigmentation and blendability and things like that, I don't see a different, like, I don't see these being a next step up in quality of shadows. I don't. But that being said, they're not bad because I love Morphe palettes. I do. So let's go ahead and get into each individual palette, and I'll just tell you, I'll go from my most favorite, I guess, to my least favorite. You guys already know what my most favorite is. What my most favorite is, and that is the Ring the Alarm, which is the warm. This is my favorite because this is just the color scheme that is my go-to when I am trying to, like, when I just am putting on makeup to go somewhere or whatever and not really thinking about the look too much and like what I want to do. I go warm. I just go warm, golden, browns, oranges, warm. Yeah, you guys should know this if you're on my channel. You know I love glowing. I love it looking golden. So that's what I go to. That's why this is my favorite. It's not in better quality. Like I said, the quality is consistent all across the board. It's just what I like. It's just my personal color scheme. In this one, you have 6 mattes, and you have 6 mattes, 1 satin, and 3 of like that pressed pigment. That's what I'm calling it. I don't think that's what they're called, but that's what I'm calling it. I really appreciate this palette. There is no matte black. The deepest shade is the Secret, which is a deep warm brown brick color, which I really love. If you would like a black to like anchor your warm browns, it's not in here. I don't mind it. There's also not a bright white, like not white, but a bright light highlight shade, a brow highlight shade, although my brow is highlighted with on camera, which is that beautiful gold in the middle. That's what my brow is highlighted with today. But if you need that matte brow highlight, that situation, it's not going to be here. That's another thing I want to say about all the palettes. One of them does have a matte black, but it's in the deep smoky one. These shades, I think these palettes do a really great job of like cutting out the fluff. You got 10 shades and you have a color theme. I don't mind sacrificing your black or your white or your matte cream shade to put in more of the color schemed type of shades. You know, at the end of the day, I think someone, if you're a Jaclyn Hill fan, if you're a Morphe fan, you're not really a stranger to makeup, so you probably own your brow highlighter, your whatever. I've said this plenty of times. I do not mind when because I have so much makeup, I do not mind when the palette omits those things. So like there's no light, just straight brow highlight in here. There's crease shades, but no brow highlight. That's a classic traditional brow highlight shade. So that's something that you might want to think about. Doesn't bother me any. All right, the next one that I love, well, again, I like them all, but you're going from top to bottom, I guess. This next one is, I love this one because it's warm. This next one, again, is the Armed and Gorgeous. So I just always say Army. There's one green in here, but it just really reminds me of that. I really respect this palette in the sense of I don't see anything pretty much like it on the market that I enjoyed. Subculture, I'm Sasha Belfield. Subculture was trying to have a vibe, I feel like this, but it just didn't hit the mark. But yeah, the lightest shade in here is a very frosty white. It's like a pressed pigment type shade called VIP. There are some, again, matte crease shades, transition shades, that orange, that yellow, really bright, warm colors. But again, your deep one here is not really deep. You have a matte, like a taupe, greeny taupe in Classified. Again, these are core shades that go with the theme of the shadows, not just let's throw in a couple neutrals, even though these are probably considered neutrals, but still they go with that theme of those colors. And then that pop of green is just wonderful. Like it's almost like genius. Like what else could we put in here that would tie that together? To some people it might stick out, but to me I think it fits just fine in this theme of colors. And this green is actually really bomb. I like this green better than what is on my fingers? Lipstick. I like this green better than the other green in the other palette that I'll show you in a minute. I don't know, it's really pretty. Let's rub it all into my hand there. Yeah, I don't know, it's really pretty. It's not something I would think to buy as a single. I'm not a big fan of green in my life, but that's a really pretty green. So, appreciate that one. All right, and then the next one is the plums. I really like the plums. The only reason these palettes are in the order that they're in is for the first one and the last one, to be completely honest. The first one is definitely my favorite, and the last one is definitely my least favorite. These two in the middle are just kind of like in the middle. you know. This one is called Bling Boss, and it is that purple berry shade. I think this is beautiful. Purple is your favorite color. Purple and berry, even though there's only one true purple in the palette, but that's all you need. Lavender eyeshadow is not really the thing. This bold, vibrant purple is kind of what you need, and all these other supporting berry shades to go along with it. Berry Treasure is really unique to me because it's can't really put my hand on what it is, but it's pretty. It's like almost like a deep chocolate brown with that purple berry sparkle in it. Berry Treasure, I guess. I guess that's a good name for it. The lightest shade in here is Hush Hush, which is a really pretty, I can't even explain that shade. It's a really pretty soft, muted pink, but could be in the neutral bucket if you had to put it there. Yeah, could be in the neutral bucket if you had to put it there. Sparks is like close to red, but not quite red. Brick, beautiful, works with this palette. Again, I like my warm golden oranges more than my berries, my warm golden yellows more than my berries, so that's why this one's behind those, but I really appreciate this color scheme. This last one, I really do appreciate the color scheme as well. If you want a deep, smoky situation, this is Dark Magic. I think the colors chosen are gorgeous. But with you having, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mattes in here. You have 7 mattes in here and only 3 like pressed pigment satin type of shades. In these 7 mattes. All 5 here at the bottom are matte, which are really nice deep shades, but blending these together can be a little bit of trouble because they can muddy together. And I noticed that when trying to do a few different smoky eyes with these. For example, Temptress and Mojo on the eyes. And I'm a brown girl, remember. So if you're lighter than me, it could go a different way. But these two here look pretty much identical once I blend them out on my skin. And that's just something. This Busted and Inside Job are the same way. They look almost identical blended out on the skin, and I don't know, you know, the science behind why that is, but that's the reason why. Like, I love this idea. I love this deep palette because it's not just black to make a smoky eye. You got a deep brown smoky eye, a deep green smoky eye, a deep blue smoky eye, and with a hint of metallic if you wanted it to be. Like, that makes me so happy. Like, I really appreciate that this type of deep palette. However, just the shades and blending those mattes together kind of gives you like a big muddied mess, and it's not, they can be really good supporting shades if one of these is the only matte you use, and obviously you have a distinction, maybe using these two or one at the top, like a distinct difference in the colors. But I don't know, on the eyes these kind of muddy together, and that's not something that people want. So that's how you go about how I feel about those 4. And that's pretty much it. I use eyeshadow primer. I use Urban Decay Primer Potion every time I wear any kind of eyeshadow. I haven't had a problem with them disappearing throughout the day. I've had this makeup on for 13 hours. I'm doing all right. This is I did like a half cut crease, and I did not put any concealer, or I didn't cut my crease with anything but the shadow. So that's also something. It's not sticking to anything but the eye primer. I really, really appreciate it. I really like it. Again, I used the Ring the Alarm. Did I? Am I lying? No, yeah. I did. I used the Ring the Alarm for this look. But I don't really, you know, for $15 now, I guess the bottom line is, if you're like, Candace, should I buy these? I like makeup, blah, 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 you know what I'm going to say. You don't need any of it, but for $15, I think these palettes are worth $15. I think these palettes are worth $20. I don't know if I'd go a little any higher than that, to be completely honest. I don't know, because I cringe buying like $20 Makeup Revolution palettes. Except the Emily one that's coming. It's my girl. But yeah. Yeah. I think $15 is a fair price for these because you do get more good than bad. Like I said, the only one that really like disappointed me is the Dark Magic one. You do. You get... I think with this palette, with the name that's on it, you know, when you put your name on something, people are expecting something. Sometimes they expect things that you didn't even promise. You know, it's just that they're expecting something, you know, I don't know. I didn't expect anything. I just expect to play with some eyeshadows and we'll see how it goes. So, yeah. Overall, if I had to give all 4 palettes a letter grade, I'd give them a B. Give them a B. Solid B. Not a plus or minus, just mid-tone B. Don't mind it. But yeah, that's my review on these. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about any of the products mentioned in this video, feel free to leave it down below. I love you all, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.